evening, folks. It is that time once again. And this is Pookie Izzy 7 with another way back playback for you called Midnight Resistance from 1990 from Data East. And what does the game have to matter with what I'm about to talk about? It has nothing to matter. Actually, it might have. Who knows? Who's to say? But the underdog of the underrated has a little rant just to point out something. Now I read this news article that Big Fatty Plus has just posted to his link. And really, let me turn that sucker up a bit so y'all can hear. Really, honestly, yeah, I understand we live in a pretty jacked up economy. And of course, my rant's gonna be the value of a game. So here it goes. Okay, you walk into GameStop. Let's say you walk into GameStop one day, and just for shits and giggles, you pick out a game that you're interested in playing, but you basically just don't want to. You don't want to keep that long. Okay, this has happened to me quite a couple times. I go to GameStop on a somewhat regular basis, and believe it or not, I get some used game. It don't have to be EA. It can be just by somebody else. And it can be about anything. I'm not mad. But my thing is, why for some stupid reason would any other store, if you did get something like Madden, which is like what, $50-$60 game. I remember way back in the day, there used to be games much more expensive than that. And mind you, this is back in the day in which, you had systems like this. You had the Sega Genesis, and when the I'll give a better example. When we had the age of full motion videos, and Sega Genesis, and the Sega was getting real popular, we spent money on these extra accessories. Like, say for instance, you bought I'll admit I'm one of these people. I bought a Sega CD. I bought some games. My first game was Lunar. After the initial purchase and whatnot, and believe it or not, I was happy with my purchase. So Yeah. I wasn't mad about it. And how many years did I have to wait for Lunar for Lunar Complete to come out? I didn't have that much going, but hey, I've waited like years and years and years for Lunar, the Silver Star Story Complete to come out. Now I'm pretty sure you want to know what my rant's about. It's about the value of a video game. I could play a. I mean, I'm older now. I'm smarter. That means for some reason actually I can actually just go into GameStop, get a game that's like less than what these newfangled video games are, and I can say this: I had the first game that I actually had that actually came with extras was the remake of Lunar the first remake of Lunar when it came out to PS1. And I remember it so well when Working Designs was still in business. When Working Designs was still in business, you actually had everything. You had, if anybody remembers Lunar, you're an RPGist like me, then y'all remember Lunar. Anyway, I remember Lunar, and when it came out, you actually had a music CD. It was a 2 3 disc game. You have a making of disc. Yeah, a making of disc. The music CD. Oh snap! And let's see what else. There was also the Galleon puppet, which I never did get because it was more like it was a collector's item. I found it later, but I gave that puppet to my girlfriend. She enjoyed it because I made her into a fan of Lunar. And how much did I have to pay for it? Maybe about $50-something. You go to try going to an expo. You try going to an expo, you would get, and you find this game now, it would cost about what, $100? And this is Lunar, mind you, the PlayStation 1 version. Now GameStop, I had many issues with GameStop sometimes. They will not buy back any new games. It's like if you did it, you had to stick with it. You did it, you get it. So I did it, and I got it. But I can also say, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that some games, I was just done with, and I just wanted to get them back. And basically, when you sell them for less than what, like less than what it's originally worth, then pretty much that's it. You just get something. They give you like $3 if you want to trade in your game for maybe half, or maybe no less than that. Let me see. Last trade I actually made was Sonic and the Black Knight, and they gave me like what, 10 $10 for a trade-in? I mean, my God, I own a Wii, and for my own standards, why, why be that cheesy with it? I mean, I know Sonic's a well-loved character and all, but come on, you can at least give me the benefit of the doubt. Give me something. I think that's why now GameStop is just shooting out the ass with nothing more than saying, "Oh, well, we got trade-ins for sale. We got this going on." And I get a newsletter from GameStop like almost every week, and they always have these one week sales. Like this week, it's Nintendo DS. Next week it'll be PlayStation 3, and the week after that might be Xbox 360. Maybe PSP. I don't know. Really, if you, I believe this. This is my philosophy. Don't quote me on it, but I treat a video game. I treat a $20 video game like if it was a $50 game. If the game is really good, like say Dynasty Warriors, I play Dynasty Warriors, and for some reason, it plays great. It feels like I basically paid $50, and yet I didn't pay that much for it. And you're gonna shortchange us gamers. This is why I think GameStop is doing it. Shortchanging us gamers just because we are given so very few about, we're given so much about this, and they say, "Oh well, for that, do you have your, do you have this? Do you have that? Do you want this? Do you want that?" I pre-ordered games before. I pre-ordered Pokemon, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and I like it. They gave me, a Pokewalker and the whole figurine. My girlfriend got the Lugia statue when I sent her copy. Downloadable contents and whatnot, I can care less. It's like if I had Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, although the extra content would be nice, but it really wouldn't change that much of the game. Now, unless they say, "Oh well, we're gonna add different for you, what we're going to do is we're going to add this character and this level just because." The only question I have to ask is, do I have to download it, or are you just going to do it right on the fly? So, that's why I say, okay, so I don't have to pay for this. Now, if anybody remembers this, and yes, this will be a two-part rant. Does anybody remember when the Sega Dreamcast came out? There was a whole lot of downloadable content. And it was such a pain because there was so much stuff you had to basically pay to play. Remember that crap? I remember pay to play. It wasn't nice. It wasn't nice at all, and I don't like pay to play. It's like online games I can care less for online games. If I'm going to be paying like what? 20 something dollars for registration or something like that. No, thank you. Or Phantasy Star Universe. Hold on.